children. This session is dedicated to class 12 mixed bag question answers discussions. Some all India board questions we are going to discuss now. So this session is dedicated to class 12 mixed bag. Why don't the maps and pictures on the wall of the classroom have any reference to the children sitting there? This question directly refers to an elementary school classroom in Islam, and that is a reflection of the diverse, atmosphere that the Islam children face other than the world outside. The pictures and drawings and the maps that have been used to decorate the classroom of the Islam children has no reference to the reality, because the world they are living in is not the world of the rich. The world outside is the world of the rich, which is quite in contrast with the reality that they are facing. They are always facing the poverty and deprivation. They are living in a stingy atmosphere, contrary to the fact that the world outside is quite different and it is beyond their you know expectations. Therefore, the pictures and the maps that have been used to decorate the classroom has no relevance to the life they have been given by the world. These slum children are living in the world of deprivation and you know mm, atmosphere which is far away from the reality. They have a future that is quite uncertain. As their future is full of uncertainties, so the picture and the maps that have been used to decorate the classroom doesn't really have any relevance to the fact that they have their life full of uncertainty, full of disappointment, dismay. There is no hope. They have a bleak future, and that is why it is quite in contrast with the reality. The picture and the maps are showing the world of the rich, which has nothing to do with the slum children. Next question. How was the peddler welcomed by the cottage owner? What did the peddler do to betray the trust of the cottage owner? The peddler was welcomed by the cottage owner with food and entertainment. The cottage owner was delighted to receive him as a guest and gave him food and entertainment. He fully entertained him, was very happy to receive him, as he was also living a lonely life. But the peddler betrays his love and trust by stealing all 30 kroners that he had earned that day. He had never expected that the guest, that means the peddler, would betray his trust in that manner. He was quite disheartened with this incident, because he just felt that it was his hospitality to welcome the guest, that is peddler, and give him full entertainment and enjoy his company. But contrary to that, the peddler stole all 30 kroners that he had earned that day. That is how he betrayed his trust and his love. Third question. Aunt Jennifer's fingers was fluttering through the wool. Why? Aunt Jennifer was badly affected by the male dominance patriarchal society. She was quite oppressed by her dominant husband, and because of the burden of the married life, she had always been in fear. So her fingers were fluttering due to the fear and due to the oppression she is undergoing due to her male dominant patriarchal society, and due to her husband who is an object of scare and fear. The husband dominance is so high and so effective that her fingers start shaking in fear as she starts using her fingers trying to express her suppressed desire by creating artificial tigers on the panel. It clearly suggests that she was quite frightened and quite affected by the dominance of the patriarchal society. Next question: Would you agree that promises made to poor children are rarely kept? Why do you think this happens in the incident narrated by the text, that is in Lost Spring? In the Lost Spring, uh, Annie, yes, um, Anish Jung jokingly, promises the child, the rag picker, uh, the Sahib, and just give him the promise that she will open a school. She never knew that the child would take it very seriously, but the child Sahib took it very seriously. And after a few days, when the child Sahib met Anis Jain, the narrator, he asked whether she had opened any school for him because he wanted to go to that school. Obviously, the narrator had not taken it so seriously at the time when she spoke. This clearly suggests that promises made to the poor children are never fulfilled. This is the stark reality of the world, that great people and big people always promise the poor children to change their fate and bring them to the light, bring them to the knowledge, bring them to the prosperity by providing them education. But in reality, nothing concrete happens either by the authority or by the individuals. And that is the reason why this is quite ironical, that the narrator promises that she would open a school, and when the child took it very seriously and asked her whether she had opened any school after a few, few days, she was unable to answer his question, and she felt, embarrassed, because she had made a fake promise. And that is the reality of the world. The world never takes care of those who are badly in need of education, badly in need of care, badly in need of light of knowledge. They never take care of these children. And another question: uh, why is grandeur associated with the mighty dead, a thing of beauty? This is from the poem A Thing of Beauty. Grandeur is associated with the mighty dead because of their grand deeds and achievement. The people who have really been great and mighty, powerful, they always had performed certain achievements, and they had always done certain deeds which were extraordinary. And because of their extraordinary achievements and deeds, the mighty deeds had always been remembered by the people for these extraordinary deeds and for these extraordinary achievements. So their achievement is the grandeur. The achievement of the mighty deeds has been a subject of beauty by the poet. It has been a subject of inspiration for other people, and that is why the poet rightly says, John Keats rightly said, the mighty deeds, the grandeur is always associated with the mighty deeds. They have always achieved some extraordinary, and they have done always extraordinary deeds. So because of the extraordinary deeds performed by these mighty people, they have always been remembered by the world, and that is why their grandeur is associated with beauty. Their achievement is associated with beauty. It is a thing of beauty and inspiration for the other people of the world, because they will be always remembered for their mighty deeds and extraordinary achievements. One more question, that is a little longer one. Yes, Dr. Sadao's character is an amalgamation of right and wrong. Justify. Dr. Sadao is a surgeon by profession. He is a character created by Paul S. Buck, which shows the amalgamation of wrong and right. His character shows a conflict between his professional ethics and his loyalty towards his nation, between his duty towards his country and his duty towards his, patient, his duty towards his profession. So there is a conflict between his professional ethics and his duty towards his loyalty towards the nation. This conflict is throughout the story. We can see Dr. Sadao facing this conflict throughout the story. Yet he chooses, the human values, that means compassion and love towards mankind. He chooses compassion and love towards mankind, despite the fact that he knew very well that helping the enemy, the injured soldier, American soldier, would put him in trouble. Yet he took the risk, saved his life first, and then decided to hand him over to the police. Though, due to certain circumstances, he could not hand him over to the police, yet he took the risk of, sending him back to his country after he recovered. So he helped him, survive, even when he knew it very well that his household servants had left the house. They were totally against helping the enemy. He very well knew this, that it could have a serious consequences to his career. He might be in deep trouble. However, he helped the enemy escape and called him his friend. With this action, he rose above narrow prejudices and political enmity. The actions performed by Dr. Sadao is above the narrow prejudices and political enmity, and it proves that disregardless of any danger and any consequences, we always take human values, whatever profession we are in. We always choose to follow and abide by our professional ethics rather than any other loyalty, any other obligation. No doubt the doctor was quite responsible person, and he was equally aware of his loyalty to his nation. He didn't want to betray that loyalty, and he tried his best to do so, but he chose the human values and helped the enemy recover from the wound and even help him escape. This clearly suggests that human being, whatever profession he is in, chose to guide by or abide by his professional ethics rather than any other values, any other loyalty, any other obligation that is also urgency to him. And that is what is proved by Dr. Sadao, saving the American injured soldier and helping him escape is an example that proves that he was above all the prejudices and political enmity that was being reflected by the writer in the story. So the writer has created, Paul S. Buck has created a character which is a mixture of, which is a blend of, right and wrong. At one hand, he was doing wrong thing by helping an enemy soldier who was there and had been found as sore. And on the other hand, he was doing higher human values by helping him and saving his life. So, though the conflict of his professional ethics and his loyalty to the nation went together, yet he chose the other one, and he chose to help the human being with his compassion and love, with his dedication towards his professional ethics rather than his loyalty to the nation. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.